I look rotten today, hasn't I? Oh, are you there? Where'd you go? Good morning. I am so sorry, you guys. I'm making a coffee right now. Who is low?
Oh, that's me. Good morning. Hi, it's Laura. I'm
Oh,
driving to work and I think it's on my other Zoom, which all my friends call me Low. So
okay.
that's just
I
who
was
that is.
like, who is low and how'd she get in here? I'm making a coffee, but I wanted
Yeah.
to go back over here. How are you guys? I am so sorry about this morning. Oops. I don't
That's
know.
all right.
I it was so Eric and I kind of got in a mishap because she was supposed to block my calendar to certain things, but I think I have too much going on. She can't keep up. But when I realized it was launch week, I was like, what was I thinking to do it at 6 a.m.? But normally that's fine. Let me go grab my coffee. Hold on.
Delicious. Do you want more, mommy? Hoover. Have num num and then you can go Hoover. Okay. You want to Hoover? Hoover. You hungry? I'm not hungry.
All right. Let me. How'd you guys? I didn't look at everybody's copy clinic. How did it go this week?
I haven't submitted anything yet because I don't really know what to submit, even though I know that she said you can submit anything.
Yeah. You can submit ideas for even a reel,
Mm.
you know?
I was thinking to submit one of those disclaimer things, like um kind of this is my opinion, my from my experience, and see kind of like the professional support for kind of diagnosis and anything like that when it comes to like the special needs children stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Because that is not really bringing in your client. What about even submitting your profile, your bio? We can get her
Okay.
feedback on that.
Like what's on my website or my Instagram.
Your
um
Instagram.
oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's true. Okay.
Um, and then what there was something else. Did you see my message I sent you today?
I did, Trish. I
Do you
wish I
have
had the same energy.
Do you have any of those things?
um I feel really emotional today, so you have to excuse me if I start crying. I'm like 5 weeks away from birth, so I'm putting it to that. But I also just feel like it's not going as good as I expected. And I am a realist. And I think that's what upsets me, is that I'm not like a delusional high expectation person. So I just feel like my realistic expectations aren't being met. And it's kind of got to be pretty bad for that to not happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel really bummed because I'm trying. I know what I'm not doing. I'm not doing lives. I'm not doing stories every single day, but I am showing up like a couple times a week.
So the
But
stories, the lives are not as important as the stories.
okay.
And I
So the
can
stories,
guarantee
yeah.
you that, Laura, you're doing stories, right?
I had been, yes. Yesterday into today, I did not. I worked 12 hours yesterday, and then am back working another 12 hour today. So it didn't happen. I got home and I went to bed.
But
But
you
for the
did
most
pretty
part, I
consistent.
am. Yeah. Yeah.
I can promise you, has now where I make my most conversions is stories. It is not the feed. The feed
Okay.
is where I get my followers. The stories is where I sell. And the stories are very impromptu. They're just real. You know, we do have some that we do graphics, but really what works best is like yesterday when I was in my pajamas drinking coffee, you know. That's where they get to know you and they choose, like, I want to work with her. But the other thing that I'm going to say, and I know that Laura will agree with me, is I truly believe in the energy we bring and what it brings back. And I the realist part of you is wrong. And you got to think about it in this way. If you opened a business, a real life brick and mortar business, they don't even bring in income for 5 to 10 years sometimes.
Yeah.
We have the potential of building a business a lot quicker. Is it instantaneous? No, not at all. I wish you could go back and see my journey. You're right where I was with Labor Nurse Mama. I started with 700 and I grew. I didn't get to 10,000 until January or February from July. So like even what's happening with Becca, it would not, if she were doing what she were doing in her own, she would not be where she's at. It's because of all that I've learned over these years and know what's working with that market. We have to figure out what's working with your market, with the parenting market. Once we figure it out, it will take off from there. But it's practicing and tweaking and turning and, you know, just being willing to change things up. But you have to get your mindset in the right spot. And I do agree, you're 5 weeks from having a baby. That in itself is huge,
I
huge,
know, I know.
you know. But this is a long game. This is not we this is not like I didn't even make $1 for August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 9 months.
Yeah.
So what you see is happening with me now is not what was happening during the growth phase. But I can tell you, I showed up believing. And anytime I got negative in my head, I would put sticky notes up like, I will impact these women. I will see growth. I will find freedom. You know, like, and I know where you're at because I was in the exact same spot relationally that you're at as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, immediately, the first thing I think of is to give yourself grace, because you are like moving mountains for yourself and for your kids right now. And you need to give yourself the grace to honor that for sure. And I had to change my expectations as well. Because I was thinking I'm gonna be able to launch a masterclass by the end of November. And like I'm not. Realistically, I'm not in a position to do that. And I had to let that go. And I cried about that the other day with Trish. So you are not alone, and I'm not pregnant. I'm just postpartum. Um, but I think too, because I know you're a well-accredited, credentialed, highly academic female as well. It's hard when we know that we're good at what we do and we are also used to achieving. Even as a realist, like we know we're used to achieving. Like I know I am too. And so like doing something that's new and scary while also having life going on, it's hard. And it's hard and I'm struggling too. So don't feel like you're alone in that in any
Well,
means.
and you guys can't compare yourself to anyone else, even in the group, because I can tell you 100% when I started, I was in a mastermind. There was like 12 of us who were in the late, birth space, right? And one of them what had started growing before me. And I've kind of told you guys I won't say who it is, but she's very big in the space. She's bigger than I am in the space. But she's not a good person, number one. And I know from the birth aspect, she's saying the right things like I say, but she's not that type of labor nurse. So it's not genuine. And I thought we were friends. We were all going together. There's several of them were doing better than me that I blew way past, and we're still friends. But my point, and then she was way bigger, and I thought we were friends. And when I started growing, I think she just thought she had a corner on the market and nobody else could do it. And I became a threat to her. So she stopped talking to me. And it was hard. I cried for like 3 days. I had sent her a labor gown. Like I shared her stuff on my platform, even though we're competitors. It was really hurtful, but I learned a valuable lesson is that I'm me and I'm not going to compare myself to any of them. Had I compared myself to several of them in that group who were doing really, really well, and I was not growing, nothing was happening. If I would have been like, this just isn't working for me, it's not my thing, look what I would have missed out on. And I blew way past them eventually. But here's what happened. They were catching all the like viral blow up, but they didn't have meat. They didn't have the same passion I had of impact, like of meeting these women. And mine was slow and steady, but it just steady, and it's still steady. It's still going up, and theirs topped out. Some of them topped out at like 30, 40,000. And for 3 years, they haven't gotten past that because I didn't give up and I believed in it and I showed up as me. I still think, Hasna, part of your story is being vulnerable on there, showing up like, like getting in your stories and being like, I am swollen and bloated and I'm ready to have this baby. Like, be relatable to them, Your reels are where you're educating them. Your stories are where you're saying, I'm you, I'm a mom. Like, I have this expertise and I want to come alongside you. I know your struggles. I understand where you're coming from,
Yeah, I hear you. Firstly, Laura, you hit the nail on the head when you said we're used to achieving. Like that triggered me in a good way, because it kind of was like a light bulb moment. And it's like, yeah, that is true. That's literally what I've been feeling recently, is that studying and doing degrees are so much easier than getting a job and maintaining a job, because all you have to do is pay a university money and they'll give it to you at the end of 2 years and you pass. It's easy, it's accessible. So now I'm like, why is the same thing not happening? So that's true. I wanted to just address that. And Trish, like the last thing that you said, I'm really struggling with hearing you. Okay. They don't want to know about you. They don't care about you. And then show up in your stories genuine. That's why I've been hiding from my stories, because in my head, I'm like, no one cares about you. Not that that's not like a personal issue.
No,
I
in
don't have
your
that insecurity.
in your copy,
Yeah.
what you're putting in your actual content needs to be, what do they get from that? Because they're coming for, what can I get from this? In your stories is where you show up and you show you.
Right. Okay.
Do you see the difference? On
I
your
do.
reels and stuff, it's about them.
Okay.
You know, it still can be relatable, but even in copy, you learn, you say you, not me.
Okay.
You talk to them. You know, now there are some reels that you can do that you can say, that's why the whole POV thing came out. It allows us to show that, you know, like it's a trend that we can show what we're feeling. But traditionally in sales and in marketing, you're going to speak you language. You feel overwhelmed and isolated, not I feel overwhelmed and isolated. That's where you show up in your stories. Now you've brought them in because they know you're speaking to them. They understand that. Your stories is where you say, like, I'll get in there and be like, you guys, I'm having a horrible week. Like, this has been a hell of a week. And if you're a prayer, your good thoughts, whatever, send them my way. Whatever it is, I need it, you know? That's where you show your pregnancy. You show like you're a single mom. How many of those people you think need to know that a parenting coach understands that? You know, I would be very interested to know how many parenting coaches are single parenting. Bet it's not many, you know. I've got, you know, a single
I
mama.
think it's hard because like I know I haven't shared like the trauma that I've been through yet, or the generational trauma that my family has. And part of that is it's such a fine line between like sharing a story that's not like that's mine versus what's not mine to share, and also like things that are going on with my family right now. My family, like, just to share quickly, is in a full PTSD flashback mode at the moment. And it's
Like your family of origin or you and your husband?
my mom and her siblings and my grandma and everyone. And my mom's biological father was incredibly abusive. He passed away when she was very little. My grandma remarried, and now my grandpa is very, very ill, and it has been dragging. He has Lewy bodies dementia, and it's been dragging on for months and months and months and months and months. And then you throw in religious trauma in there as well, and different viewpoints and perspective on end of life, and hospice, and versus people who don't believe in hospice. And it's been unreal. It's been unreal. And it's part of why I have been hesitant to share some of the trauma that I've been breaking, or cycles that I've been breaking, is because I'm watching them live it right now. And I know I have to get over the fact that they're going to see things and be triggered by it. And that's not my problem. Like, at the end of the day, it's not my problem as long as I'm speaking about my truth and not their truth. But it's still hard. And it's hard to, like,
Can I challenge you?
be real.
Can I?
So
How do you expect these women that you're telling to do this to do it unless you're willing to do it?
right.
And I get it because I've
Right.
thought about you a few times. Like I can't share on I can't
Yeah.
even talk about my mom's narcissistic abuse when I'm teaching because my dang mom comes to my live classes. And then she's like, "Hi, honey. How are you, honey?" While I'm
It's unreal.
Which
It's
is
unreal. I know.
It's not about you, mom.
Like, literally not about you. I know.
You're not
I know.
pregnant. Why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you what she wants everybody to know, oh, I'm labor nurse mama's mom. That's the only reason she's there. And that's just continually feeding that narcissistic abuse.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And it's like, I posted something relatable the other day, and then my sister-in-law messaged me. She's like, "Are you okay? Like, that I saw your stories." And I was like, "Yes, like, that's part of the business. Like, I'm posting about relatable like, we're good."
What
She's
if
like, "Oh,
what if you have a conversation with the people you know that are going to be triggered in your life and say, listen, you may not want to follow me. I'm about to get real on here. I'm going to share how my experience, and my experience does not make it your reality or your truth, but it is my truth. And this is what
yeah,
I'm
I
going
have to set the boundary." I think
Yeah.
part of it is and I hate saying it like this, but I was kind of hoping Grandpa would pass peacefully and quickly for him too, because then once Once he passes, then when I start sitting back, because I'm going to cut family out. I have to cut off family. And I'm trying to wait to do that until the funeral and then be able to like cut off, because I'm going to have to cut off family completely, unfortunately, where they've exposed their true colors. And
Yeah.
it's not things I want to bring my kids around. And I unfortunately, the poor man is still hanging on. And I feel awful saying it like that because I loved him. I was very close with him, and it's hard.
I prayed that God would take my dad. My dad died of Alzheimer's, and I love my dad. And I'll tell you, the minute he took his last breath, I missed him in a way that I can't even explain. But my dad was suffering.
Because he has the Parkinson's and the hallucinations on top of the dementia, but then with Lewy bodies, they still have lucid moments. So like the other day, my mom went.
Oh, I don't
and
even
he was
know if
wide awake.
I don't think I could handle that. My dad was gone mentally for about
No, he still comes back, and that's
that would be
the part
worse.
that's like, it's a whole thing, and it's been a lot.
Oh, I totally get that, because in the beginning, when my dad literally just showed up on my doorstep and was like, "I need to live with you," and I was like, "What?" Like, what's happening? And I had him diagnosed like the end of that week, because that was just completely bizarre behavior. But in the beginning, he was treading between knowing and not knowing, and he wanted to go out in the woods and shoot himself. Like, and I just prayed, I was like, God, if this is his path, take him to the not knowing and take him quick.
Yeah, Grandpa has mentioned things.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot and that's just like, as you've had plenty too. It's just the tip of the iceberg. And so I think having those boundary conversations is going to happen sooner than I would have liked, but it is what it is. And then we're going to have to do what we have to do and deal with the fallout later. But I do have to run. I hate having a really good conversation and having to leave, but I'm at the flower shop and the owner is quite curmudgeonly. And so I have to go deal with that.
No worries. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hasna, what time is it there?
It is, I think, 2:51. We're 6 hours ahead of you.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes it a little easier for me to figure out then.
Yeah, we're 6 hours.
I think a lot of the other girls are at work, which is why I had scheduled it at 6 a.m. I could just smack myself.
I figured that no one's going to reply to me because everyone else is based in the States, with that being way too early. So I thought I'm not going to get a reply.
I'm gonna chat with everyone next week on that. I think next week is our regular coaching call, and I'm just gonna ask their thought on the office hours, like what, I don't want. I also want to work it around my family as well.
Yeah.
So I think that we had a good breakthrough today, because you need to let go of these expectations. Here's the thing. I'm reading this book right now. You should download it. I'm not going to say it because I don't say the word, but that's what it's called.
Okay, rich as hell. Okay.
My son came in, he goes, "That is not mom."
So cute.
But it's such a good book talking about mindset blocks.
Yeah.
And, I really truly believe in the vibe and energy we put out there, and just nipping that in the bud. We don't know what your growth and success how it will come, but I truly believe it will come. I have no doubt of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's basically this is where my thinking is at. I want to do I want to follow exactly what you tell me to follow, because I know that what you've done has obviously worked, and what you're doing is going to work. I know that. I don't think it'll feel it. But I've been struggling with the past couple of days, since our last one-to-one, my views have just gone down, and it feels like rock bottom down. It was I was hitting some 400s, 500s, and then it was 70, 90, 110. And then I don't like the visual thing. You know what we said about when you said that me and you are the same, we like the background on the text so that we're not confusing
And so visually, it's like really disturbing when I go on my page.
And
I'm just like,
you know what? Go back to what you like, because there is value in that. We just need to tweak what you were doing to find out the right tweak that works with you as well. If it's not in alignment with you, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. You don't have to do everything I say. You
it's
don't.
just that I trust the process. And it's like, I don't, because obviously I'm not growing as fast as I want to grow. Obviously, the other girls have been listening to your advice and following your steps, and they are growing. So in my head, I'm like, well, I've got to be doing the same then. I have to trust the process for me to see, but at the same time, I feel like in terms of the tweaks and the corrections, I feel like maybe we should tweak one thing at a time. Like,
Yeah.
the SEOs, I thought if I keep everything the same and just add the SEOs and see if that makes a difference, because then I can determine what is actually working. Because at the moment, we were doing the SEOs, the text layout, and then no
maybe
covers.
too much. Yeah. So let's move back to that. What you can do is take the ones that you posted and the ones that didn't get great view,
Mm-hmm.
archive them, and repost in the way that you want to do them, and
Mm-hmm.
just add the SEO. And let's see, you're right, but I still would do the trending audio that I told you how to find it.
Yeah. I love what you said about find like a low number, but the first one has like 1 million views. I've been looking out for those and I've been using those. So yeah, like trending audios and then SEOs, and then maybe do that for a week and then see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can do that. And then
But
Trish,
I also would, I would say you can, like, with your font and stuff, but I still would try to make your hook a little more hooky.
okay, yeah, the text, so and be a bit more punchliney.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would give more value in the caption. And I do love what you said the other day, maybe making one point at a time. Don't, they're overwhelmed as is, break, and that gives you more content,
Yeah.
less work.
Yeah.
Unless it really makes sense to have, and you can repeat content. That's not a problem.
Yeah. I can reuse and stuff.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that like people only remember like 40% or something of what they see. So if you repeat your content literally the same, it's okay. It just makes it more likely that they'll actually remember what you're sharing.
Yeah, I love that. That's exactly 100% true. You think about it, how many reels I have. Do you really think I'm not repeating? There's
Yeah.
only so much I can teach about birth.
Yeah.
But I would definitely be like, make sure your hook is, and I'm looking at, so I am looking though, like, you definitely have some that do better, but your last three are 125, 105, 170. And then you had the 730, and then before that was 207, 107, 190. It seems like we need to figure out these ones that are doing better. What is that topic? What are you doing in them?
My gut tells me, Trish, that it's the day, because my Saturdays get the 400, 500 views.
Okay. Are you
Like
doing
easy.
two on that day?
Sorry?
Are you posting once or twice?
I was posting twice every day. I was doing 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Okay. Now when you go to Saturday and you have those two, they both do well, or one does?
No, both of them.
Okay, so I would that's when you need to put your real bangers, But I think that can change as well. So I wouldn't do too much on that, but I personally love the way these last three look. So I'm wondering if I'm thinking about your real quick. Hold on. What about, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Because I still feel like this is going to resonate to some of these people. What if you made your grid? Oh, what did I do? Hold on. Let me get out of that. I don't even know. Hold on one second. Let me yell at real quick. Okay. Sorry, he's got therapy at 10, so I need to make sure he's make sure I confirmed. What? Okay. Just confirming. Okay, so what if you did, you see how you've got your 3 with your old style, your 3 with your new style. What if you made that your grid? Now you do 3 with your old style, 3 with your new style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just because I don't think when you switch something, the first couple is not going to tell you, you know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah.
figuring it out. The other thing you could do is one of each day,
Okay.
you know, and so your grid would look like this, you know, this, let me see if I can do this. Let's see if I
Yeah,
can.
I know what you mean. So it would be kind of like alternate, and it will look zigzaggy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would be, you know, this frame plane, this frame plane, this frame plane,
Yeah.
and then your grid would look like that.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, so I'm looking like your likes really didn't change on these. They're about the same. So it's your views. We just got to keep playing around. That's going to be the key. These book ones, they do well, but we want to get more engagement.
Yeah.
But you are going to get more engagement if you get in those stories. That's going to naturally get people engaging. I mean,
Okay.
look at my Mama Hustlin' Home, okay? I started at 700 followers. Now I was growing a lot faster, and then I decided I didn't like who I was bringing in. We talked about this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not getting the same amount of views and stuff, but my followers who are starting to follow me are the right people. And that is really what, and I want you to think about this. If you went to a conference and you were the speaker, okay, and 300 something people were showing up, would you feel pretty accomplished?
Well, it depends how big the venue is.
Oh, come on now. If you had 300 people that were showing up to hear what you had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. That's good.
Yeah, so
Like,
we get a little bit confused on social media because we feel like the bigger the number, the better. But if you have 300 people that you've nurtured into wanting what you have,
yeah.
that is huge.
Yeah.
So I would just stop focusing on the vanity. I think you're smart to focus on the engagement numbers.
No, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the followers as much as I'm thinking of engagement too. Like, remember when you said to me, go into every, like, DM every of your new followers and just say, hey, welcome, blah blah blah. I did that to say like 200 new followers, and I got maybe like 5 responses. I was happy with that, because I
Yeah.
thought, okay, that's good. It's going to take 1,000 to get, 10 or whatever it is. So I like that I did that, but many people kind of just liked it, and obviously most of them just saw it, and I thought that's still good too. The fact that they're opening and seeing, right?
What were
So
you saying?
that's
What was your welcome message?
it was something like, hey, I'm so glad you're here, blah blah blah, I'm a parent and tralala, I'd love to hear your story, tell me about you, or something like that. I kind of ended it with like a question.
Oh, bye. Love
Two
you.
things. Can you send me this? And then can I borrow your AirPods today? I lost one of
Uh-uh.
mine.
No.
Mom, I'll literally give you like
Sorry.
$50 to borrow
No,
them,
but
please.
there's headphones in the kitchen that you can borrow.
No.
Okay,
I can't when I work.
What was I gonna say?
You can when I work. They're at home.
Yeah, but I'm afraid you'll lose
I
them.
promise I won't lose them. I dropped one of mine in my bed and it got lost in Mary Poppins' purse.
You lost yours at home and you're guaranteeing you won't lose mine at work.
Because my bed is Mary Poppins' purse. I
Okay. Anyhow, love you too. Have a good day. I just got manipulated into handing my AirPods over.
I loved that. I love the whole
Well,
thing.
Part of the reason is because her coping with her trauma is isolating.
Right.
So I don't really want her calling me all day with stressed out. What was I just saying? She totally killed my.
It's okay. You were about to say
Oh
something
yeah,
in
I know.
response to.
What if you made it shorter? Like, hey, welcome to my page. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love to hear what is your biggest parenting struggle?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Make it very short and sweet, and try that out and just see.
Okay. I love that. What's your
Like,
biggest parenting struggle? Okay, so just like a direct question. Hey, I'm so glad
yeah.
you're here.
You
I'd
could
love to
even
know.
say, like, hey, I'm so glad you're here. I am doing a little survey, and I would love it if you would take a minute to tell me what is your biggest parenting struggle.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then if they don't respond, go back and say, hey, I know you're busy, but I'm really dying to know. Can you take just a second to let me know? Get
Okay.
them engaged, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a message and I forget about it and then I don't go back and check it,
Mm.
you know?
Oh, good.
And like if it were me, the way I speak, I'd be like, hey, I'm not trying to stalk you. I'm just really interested, like something like that's my
Yeah.
voice,
Yeah, something natural. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I can try that too.
Yeah. But I'd say if you're not feeling in alignment with that, the way we're doing the content, let's figure out something different. Like let's find what's working,
Okay. Yeah.
because
Okay, that's fine.
it's also about you being authentically you. So if you're not in alignment with something, I suggest we don't need to do it. We need to keep pivoting till we find it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I do honestly think that if you show up in your stories and let them get to know you, then they're going to want to engage with you more.
Okay, that's fine. I can definitely do that. Like, I'm comfortable going on my stories. I just wasn't sure whether the rule applied across all like platforms of kind of don't talk about you. It's about them. You need to offer them things that is valuable to them, not to you. So then I was like, every time I think to go on and like be me, I kind of hesitated and thought it's not about you.
No,
So I
your
kind of pulled
stories is
back.
all the stories is all about you and nurturing them into buying.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Okay, fine. And then my other question was, how often do you think we should post? Because here's the thing, Trish, my most busiest time of people engaged is basically 3 to 6 p.m. However, when I post at 9 a.m., generally the 9 a.m.s do a little bit better in terms of views than the 4 p.m. So then I decided to just post twice a day. It worked fine, but it did increase like my views and stuff. But sometimes like when I take that little pause, it kind of gives Instagram more time to put my content out there. So then gradually that last post goes up and up and up in views slowly. So I'm not sure whether I should continue twice a day, whether I should like vary it, but then I'm
I
thinking
think you need
consistency.
to do twice a day until we figure out what is really working for you, because
Okay.
and especially putting the SEO, because that's telling Instagram who you want to talk to.
Yeah.
And then for your hashtags, one of the methods I learned is you do 3 for your target audience, 3 for their pain points, and 3 about who you are, like your credentials or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
By 3. But I think that, like you said before, let's not change up too much. Keep doing your 2 posts when you're doing them. Let's
Okay.
try the 2 different styles, change up your grid a little,
Mm-hmm.
but show up in your stories.
Okay, fine. I can
And the
do that.
magic number is between like 4 to 8 stories,
Oh, a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I say that, 4 stories could be like one long talk. But
Yeah,
I
that's what I was gonna ask. Okay.
take a picture of your belly and be like feeling really pregnant today or whatever, stuff like that. Like that's a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to all be video.
Yeah. Okay. Ew, mommy. Okay, that's fine. I can
One
do
thing
those.
I know that Becca's doing is she props that camera up almost every morning and talks to them while she's getting ready.
Right.
That they love that stuff. They love a day in a life type stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I could do that like my morning tea or something, or like breakfast time or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
All right, I'm gonna get going soon. I gotta take him to therapy and I need to make sure he's on track because I guarantee he's on his tablet.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. Go, go, go. That's fine. Thank you so much. That was really helpful today.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And just keep the right mindset and get that book.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me screenshot that. Let me just
This
quickly.
is this is the workbook, but that's the book.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. That's fine. I'll search it up.
It's a
Yeah.
lot about your energy and your money mindset, but I
Yeah.
feel like it can apply to all of it. And
Yeah.
some of it there's a little like I'm like, but the majority of it really, but what I really like is she has you journal after each chapter, which is
Oh.
that's why I bought the workbook. I have the Audible and the workbook.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Okay. I'll get my hands on that.
All right.
Okay.
Have a
Perfect.
great
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.